Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Tishda Ridro Meba Soto Kaya Soto Kayo Meba Anu Rakto Meba Sarva Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Sita Koro Hum Ha 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 ho Bhagawa Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Bhava Mahashamaya Sarva Ahum Pe Eho Shude Shude Soha Yamo Shude Shude Soha Ram Ho Shude Shude So Shude Shude Oya Muni Muni Maha Oye Dharma Hetu Teshan Chayo Niroda Evam Vadi Mahashramana Yesu Gyule Jung Te Gyu Deshin Shekpe Sung Gyula Gopa Kaimba Gejon Chembo Deke Sung Gejon Chembo Jingilong Gejon Chembo Ngodrupso Gejon Chembo Drashishon Sangye Chedan Soge Chonamla Chancho Pardo Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chushe Gibe Sonamgi Drola Pinchira Sangye Druparishu Sangye Chedan Soge Chonamla Chancho Pardo Dani Kyapsuchi Dagi Chushe Gibe Sonamgi Drola Pinchira Sangye Druparish Sangye Chedan Sogi Chonamla Chancho Bardo Dani Kyapsuchi Sangye Druparish. In the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge unto enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. So we just do first one dedication for our friends in Nepal. As you may already know, there was this morning, there's a strong earthquake there. So we talked to all our friends and Rinpoche's family, everybody's fine. No one got hurt, but many of the houses were damaged and so on. Many of the old temples were destroyed. But anyhow, we make a prayer now so that we dedicate our prayers, that everybody there may have the wisdom and the strength to deal in the best way with the situation, okay? Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Vagishwari Mum. Om Vagishwari Mum. Om Vagishwari Mum. Om Vagishwari Mum. Om Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum. Om Maritse Mam Svoha. 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 Maritse Mam Svoha. Om 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 Swabhava Vishuddhe Dharma De Bensa Siddhi Ho. Namo Sarva Tata Gata Bhayo Vishu Mukhe. Sarvate Kam Eu Gate Parana. Hema Kanganam Kam Soha. Omo Amrite Humpe. Om Akaro Mukha Sarva Dharmam Adye Nubena Tute. Namo Sarva Tata Gata Avalokite. Om Sambara Sambara. Om Ruru Puru Sarva Tishta Siddha Lotsa. Sarva Artha Sadhana Yeso. Dagi Sambe Topdani Deshin Shebe Chindobda. Shegi Yinge Tenangi. Tenda Kanda Sambaku. Tada Tamche. Topa Me Para Chungyurchi. Nimo Dele Tsendele. Nime Kuyan Delekshi. Ninsen Takto Delepe. Kuncho Sumge Jingilo. Kuncho Sumge Ngodrutso. Trashisho. So this morning we were looking at the part of offerings and we were doing the external offerings. We almost concluded all the part of the external offerings. As we saw this morning, the external offerings are divided into 5 parts, which is offering the 4 waters, offering the nirche, which means like the objects of pleasure, such as flower and incense, offering the desirable objects of the 5 senses, then offering the mandala, and finally we get to the 5th type of offering, which means offering which we call realization offerings, which for me personally is one of the most beautiful type of offerings that we can make. Okay. So in these offerings, as we go through verse number 33, it says, Ngoshan yidro yishin gyazongo sishin namka leo chonzengi dado gebe kungi yidro ching jikten lede ran shingi gosum gebe meto chi antra kunsan chope rinso bumdro shin lab son rimni lange drende pe gatsen chetson lama nyer chirbul. To please you, O venerable gurus, we offer these objects, both actually arrayed and those envisioned, which means the ones that I have actually put in the offering table of the mandala of the altar, such as the ones that we have back there, and also those visualized. I offer them as a pleasure grove on the shore of a wish-granting sea. It is strewn with 1,000-petal lotuses, captivating the hearts of all. These are the offering objects arising from samsara and nirvana white virtues, which means these are the objects that actually are the manifestation of the white virtues, which means of the positive actions of both those that are still in samsara and those that have already gone beyond samsara, those that have already reached enlightenment. Everywhere is dotted with flowers. These are the virtues of the three gateways of ourselves and others. Gateways are body, speech, and mind. These are the three gateways. So these are all the virtues of body, speech, and minds of myself and others in this world and beyond. It is diffused with a myriad fragrances of Samantabhadra offerings and is laden with the fruits of the three trainings, 2 stages, and 5 paths. Basically, when we make these offerings of realization, what we are offering, the appearance of what we offer is flowers and fruits and a beautiful environment. And we can have many different forms and shapes of what we are offering. Okay, this is the appearance. But in the essence, what we are actually offering is our love and compassion and patience and wisdom and all the virtuous actions we have done, all the virtuous actions of body, speech, mind. Then together with that also, we offer the 5 paths, the 10 bhumis, the realization of renunciation, bodhicitta, correct view of reality, the practice of the 6 perfections. We offer actually all the inner realizations and the virtues that we have done up to now, that we have right now in this moment, and that we will develop in the future. To offer what we will do is a positive interdependence in order to realize it. So if I offer the Buddha in the form of a beautiful flower, the lotus that one day, the love that one day I will develop to all sentient beings. Do I have at this moment such great love to all sentient beings? Not yet, but I offer the one that I will develop. So it becomes some sort of a commitment to develop such love. So we create the causes in this way also to develop these qualities. So we imagine all the good qualities. Here, for example, is talking about the 3 trainings, which is the training of morality, concentration, and wisdom. The 2 stages, which is the generation and completion stage of the Tantra. The 5 path, which is the path of accumulation, the path of preparation, the path of seeing, the path of meditation, and the path of no more learning. And inside of this, there are also the 10 bhumis. So I offer the whole spiritual path to enlightenment and all the qualities related to it. How do I offer it? In the form of flowers and incense and food and fruits and lights and beautiful things. So here it leaves some space for our own imagination. The most important is that when we have something positive that we are offering, we offer our own qualities. And this is actually the best of all offerings that we can do, is to offer our own realizations. That's the most important thing. That's what makes all the Buddhas mostly happy. That's what we really is to offer our own good qualities. Actually, one important thing to add here also is that all the Buddhas, they don't need anything. Actually, they are already living constantly in a state of great bliss. So they cannot have a new experience of bliss as they are already constantly in bliss. But in order to create a positive interdependence for ourselves and for our own accumulation, we imagine that they experience a new sensation of bliss, even though that's not possible because they are constantly in bliss. Okay? But we imagine that they are happy. They're always happy, it doesn't matter. But we imagine that they are happy of what we are doing. They receive these offerings with such great joy. And then, based on that, they experience this new sensation of great bliss and emptiness. But from all the things that we could do and from all the things that we could offer, one of the best offerings that we can offer to our Guru and to all the Buddhas is our own realization, is our own practice of the Dharma. So we take the practice and we make it in this form. So for example, there is also the tradition, let's say when we complete a retreat or when we realize more patience or love or compassion or generosity, or we develop an inner quality, then we can actually make even a physical offering. I come and I bring flowers. But instead of just offering the flowers to my Guru, I said, these are the flowers of my love, the flowers of my patience, the flower of my practice. I have done such practice. I have developed such qualities. Now I am more patient than before. Now I have understood this that before I couldn't understand. So we talk about the inner qualities that we developed and we manifest this as an offering that we are making. Which, for example, it can be a flower, it can be food, it can be incense, it can be anything, basically. Okay? But we manifested our own inner qualities through these external offerings that we call Drube Chopa in Tibetan. Druba means to realize. So we offer actually our realizations in their appearance as the external offerings. Okay? So, here, we offer also the realizations that we will one day develop, even though we have not developed yet. And this is also a very positive way of creating the causes in order to realize such path in the future also. Okay, so in this way we conclude the part of the external offerings, and we conclude this very important part, which is offering our own realizations. And this is something that normally we are not so much used to think, oh, I can offer my qualities. Who am I? What qualities do I have? Instead, every quality we have, every virtue we accumulate, we can transform it in the form of an object to offer, and we can offer it. And this is a great way of accumulating merit, actually, and also putting more strength to continue to develop our own qualities. Okay? Now we have entered one part of the offerings, which is a little bit more difficult to understand than the external offerings, and which are basically, after the external offerings is quite simple to understand. Now we go to the next part, which is called the internal offerings, the secret offerings, the offerings of emptiness, which is the verse number 34, 35, and 36. These three verses are a little bit more difficult to understand, okay? But still, we will go through it. I think we can get quite a good understanding of it, even though there are many levels of understanding. We start with a first level of understanding, okay? So we start with the first one, which means making the inner offering. So let's go first to the verse, as it says, we offer a libation of China tea, the color of saffron, steeped in the glories of 100 flavors, with a delicate bouquet. This, the 5 hooks, the 5 lamps, and so forth, is purified, transformed, and increased into a sea of nectar. So, what does it mean to make an inner offering, first of all? First of all, when we talk about making an inner offering, we are offering something that is part of ourself. It's inner. It's not outer. Okay? In many different texts, when we make the distinction between outer phenomena and inner phenomena is everything that we can feel. So it's basically our mind and our body, with exclusion of the nails and the hair. Nails, tooth, and hair are external phenomena, because if we cut them, we cannot feel it. Okay? So all the rest of our body and our mind are called inner phenomena. So when you talk about an inner phenomenon, it's not only our mind, there is also our body. So when you talk about making an inner offering, we are offering our body and our mind, in essence. So at this point, our body and our mind are impure. So how can I offer this body? How can I offer this mind? Not possible. I would not feel comfortable with that. So what we need to do is we transform the body and the mind into a pure state, and by transforming it into a pure state, we imagine it in the form of this nectar that we offer. So there's a whole part of symbology here that maybe in the time when this was first taught, it had a very precise way for people to understand, but nowadays it needs some explanation because for us it seems quite weird, the whole symbology, which basically is this object here is representing this symbology, which is first we have an wind as mandala, which is this bow-shaped green object, let's say, which we call green wind mandala. Above of it, there is the triangular fire mandala. And on the three edges of the triangular fire mandalas, there are three heads, three human heads. Okay, one head is red, like just having been cutted. The other head is blue, like without air. After some time, it starts to rotten. And the other head is white, like having completely got like old and dry. Okay, which actually means white, red, and blue, which is basically body, speech, and mind, have many different meanings, but are representing the three different levels of understanding emptiness. Okay, we also call Namdar Gosum. Above which there is the Kapala. The Kapala basically is this school cup, a head school cup, which is on top of it. Why we have the school cup? The school cup is representing the crown. The crown is where our white bodhicitta lies, and it's through the white bodhicitta that we can experience great bliss. So that's why it's representing by the school cup. Okay. So what we visualize is that inside of this school cup, like a sort of a pot, cooking pot, inside of it there are what are called the 5 meats and the 5 nectars. Okay, which in this text are called the 5 hooks and the 5 lamps. The 5 hooks are the 5 meats, and the 5 lamps are the 5 nectars. So what are the 5 meats and what are the 5 nectars? For the 5 meats, we have the elephant meat, human flesh, then we have the cow meat, then we have the meat of dog and the meat of horse. And then the 5 nectars, basically we have urine, sperm, how to say, blood, excrement, and bone marrow. Okay, bone marrow, midolo. No? So all of this goes inside this school cup sort of pot, and it gets cooked. So it's not nice, right? But it has different meanings on this. We now go to one of them, which is basically that it is representing our body. The 5 meats represents our 5 aggregates, which is body and mind. And the 5 nectars represents the 5 elements, okay, which now are impure. So they are represented as something that we see as impure, but that can be transformed into something pure. So what happens is that the wind blows, the fire grows, and the heat will cook the 5 nectars and the 5 meats together, and will make out of it a beautiful nectar that we offer. Okay. Above of which there is the Hum Ah Om. From the Om Ah Hum, light emanates with the 3 colors, white, red, and blue, to the 10 directions. It gathers back all the blessings of body, speech, and mind of all Buddhas. Then the Hum descends and absorbs into the offerings, into the nectar, eliminating any sort of impurity of color, smell, shape, or taste. The Ah descends absorbs into the offerings, transforming them into nectar. The Om dissolves into the offerings, multiplying it to infinite. So as the text says, it is purified, transformed, and increased. Okay, this is the process of Hum Ah Om. The same way as when we did the offerings in the beginning. Okay, when we did Om Ah Hum, Om Ah Hum, Om Ah Hum, O Yeshalanam Panancho, the same visualization we did there, it's also part here. What does this symbolize actually? Because we are still in a part of a symbolic thing. It symbolizes the air that which means the subtle energy winds that absorbs inside our central channel. By making the subtle energy winds absorb within our central channel, it will make our tumor fire to grow. So then we have at the navel chakra, the inner fire of tumor, it grows up. And as the inner fire grows up, it melts the white bodhicitta in our crown. And as the white bodhicitta melts, it flows through the body and we experience a sensation of great bliss. Okay? So this great bliss is united with emptiness. It's a great bliss that perceives emptiness. And by this new sensation of great bliss and emptiness, we purify both body and mind. Okay? So, it's a sensation in bliss that fills completely the whole body. It goes through every channel. Every channel of our body is completely purified. The bliss expands even to the tips of our fingers. Okay? It expands to the whole body, the sensation of bliss, entering and clearing every channel of our body. So, by that, this is actually what is really symbolizing this. That's why we have the wind, that's why we have the fire, that's why we have the skull cup, which is representing the white bodhicitta that is in our crown. Okay? So, it's the same thing, basically, that we do when we have in self-healing, E Yam Ram Lam Bam. With E, we purify the space, creating the possibility of space. Then we have creating the possibility for other elements to get purified. Then we have the Yam, the wind goes up. Ram, the fire gets stronger. Lam, the earths get heat. Bam, the water gets purified. And then it goes up to the crown as, steam. And then it condenses and transforms into nectar and goes down through our whole body. It's the same meaning as we have this whole visualization of the skull cup and so on. It's the same meaning as the visualization that we do in Eyam Ram Lambam also. Okay? So here we are using an external symbol to symbolize actually an inner process that is happening within ourselves. So we offer this in the appearance of this nectar that has the color of Chinese tea, saffron-colored Chinese tea, with 100 flavors and very pleasurable nectar that by experiencing it, we can, whoever tastes it, have a new sensation of great bliss and emptiness. So basically, we visualize this offering deities coming out of our heart. We call it the Rodorjema, which means the Vajra taste goddesses that goes out of our heart and bring this kapala full of nectar. And then Guru Buddha, as he experiences this, he has a new sensation of great bliss and emptiness. But there is a very strong correlation between the inner offering and the secret empowerment. Because the secret empowerment, as we already said before about this relation, is based that we will generate the union of great bliss and emptiness based on the male energy and after on the female energy. And here we are exactly working on the process of melting these energies in order that we can experience it more clearly and developing a new sensation of bliss. So we are offering here the essence of our body and mind, which means the 5 nectars, which in a pure state are represented by the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, the 5 meats, which in a pure state are represented by the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, which is the 5 aggregates in a pure state, the 5 nectars, which in a pure state are the 5 great mothers, which are the 5 elements purely. Okay? So this is basically, trying to make it simple, this is what we are actually offering. Okay? We visualize this nectar, which is the essence of our body and our mind, of the 5 aggregates and the 5 elements in a pure state, completely transformed and purified. Okay? Also, when we talk about here the 5 meats and the 5 nectars, I just want to add one sort of curiosity, let's say, which is based not on something that I read some things, but it's something basically, let's say, my own personal way of seeing, my own personal understanding of it. My own idea. So, because it's my own idea, it can be right or it can be wrong. So don't take it for granted that it's right, okay? Basically, what happened is that when we think about the 5 nectars and when we think about the 5 meats, okay, imagine we have here a pot and then we fill up with some excrement, some urine, and then we add a little bit of blood, we put some sperm, then we put some bone marrow, Then we had a little bit 5 types of meat together. We put all together. If I give this to any one of you, or even to myself, okay, how would it seem to us as something that is, come si dice, schifoso? It is something that is disgusting by its own nature, or something that is disgusting because I attribute the value disgusting to it? How do we experience it? That is disgusting by its own nature. It's not because I want to see it as it's disgusting. It is disgusting. This is how we relate to it. So for us, if I put here excrement is disgusting by its own nature. It's intrinsically disgusting. That's how we relate to it normally. Okay? If we analyze it, is excrement disgusting by its own nature or not? No. It's empty of inherent existence. It depends on the imputation of the name. It depends on the value that I am attributing to it also at the same time. In the Vajrayana path, one of the most fundamental aspects of the path that we need is sure love and compassion, but also we need to have the correct view of reality. We need to be able to go beyond all our preconcepts and judgments, which is nothing more than a very gross manifestation of the grasping of inherent existence. So, when we look at these objects that we see, the 5 nectars and the 5 meats, it is something quite gross. It is the way how it is based on our most common mind. It is something very disgusting, but the fact is that we need to go beyond that way of seeing things. We need to go beyond that way of grasping phenomena as if they existed out of their own characteristics. We must be able to look at it and see that it's empty of inherent existence. It doesn't exist as something disgusting out of its own nature, out of its own entity. It depends on the way how we relate to it. Okay, and here there is one short story that one time there was a monastery in Tibet which is called Gyume, still there. But in Gyume monastery there were 2 main tantric colleges in Tibet, Gyute and Gyume. And they were very strict with rules. And the abbot and also the discipline master, they have a lot of power in these monasteries also. And they're very, very strict. For example, when you go in the door of the monastery, if you step on the, what do you call it? On the threshold, there is the door, and there is the doors of the monasteries, they have on the part below also one high part. No? So if you step on it, you are expelled of the monastery. During the puja, like on the first year of the monastery, when you are wearing the zen, if you wear in the wrong way, expelled of the monastery. When you drink the tea or you are eating in the monastery, you must always keep your cup in your hand. If you put on the floor, you are expelled of the monastery. There are many rules like this. They are extremely rigid with discipline in these monasteries. But one time, they were having problems because some of the monks there, not all for sure, but some of the monks, they were going out for women and they were going out drinking and getting drunk and so on because they were saying they could transform everything into nectar. So one day the abbot, he organized that everybody was in the puja in the morning, ready for the prayers and so on, with their cup, these big Tibetan wooden bowls for the tea. And then instead of the tea, what he did is that he made a sort of a soup out of the excrement and the urine of the Tibetan toilets. So they took all of this, he made them to cook it and to put on the bowl of every monk during the puja. So everyone was there with this thing stinking. They couldn't put on the floor, no? Otherwise they get expelled. So they're holding this in their hands. And then he told them, there are some people here that say that they have realizations able to transform anything into nectar. So I rejoice deeply about it. So if you are able to really transform it into nectar, please transform this nectar that I have just offered to you. You drink it joyfully. If you are able to drink it without any difficulty or any problem, you are allowed to continue such type of behavior. Otherwise, you are expelled of the monastery. And he that had a very good behavior and so on, he took it and he just drank it all without any difficulty. While some monks that were having this type of behavior, they tried to drink it and they start vomiting and they had a lot of difficulties. No? So then they were expelled of the monastery and this moment of lack of discipline in the monastery finished. So basically, also in the past times, it's said that in the ancient times, some Mahasiddhas, not all, but some Mahasiddhas, when they had a new disciple, before teaching them the path of Tantra, they would give them the 5 meats to eat and the 5 nectars to eat also. And if they were able to eat the 5 nectars and the 5 meats, going beyond any preconcept, going beyond any way of seeing it inherently as disgusting or anything, then they were ready to receive the rest of the teachings. If they couldn't eat it, if they said, oh, that's disgusting, I cannot, then they say, okay, go to meditate more about the correct view of reality. Then you come back to me. You are not ready for it. So also, when there is this symbology of the 5 meats and of the 5 nectars, it has actually a deeper meaning also. I believe that it has the meaning of showing us that we need to go much beyond our own preconcept that we have in relation to things. And then showing us the importance of the correct view of reality, and also showing that our body is something that we see, the body and the mind, as something impure, but actually its own nature is free of being pure or impure inherently, so that we can transform it also in a pure state. Okay? So this is just something that it's my own personal view related to it. So, but I think for me it makes more clear why we have the 5 meats and why we have the 5 nectars in this type of representation also. Okay? So, as we conclude this verse 34, as we make the inner offerings, we need to remember that the inner offering and also the next one, which is the secret offering, we're offering something this is something symbolic. We're not offering the 5 meats and the 5 nectars. Okay? We're actually offering, and something I didn't say in English, sorry, I think so. When we say the name that is given is just the 5 hooks and the 5 lamps. Did I say the meaning of that in English? It's called the 5 hooks and the 5 lamps because through the inner offering we can bring to us more quickly the realizations. We can hook the realizations and we can make the realizations more clear. So which means by making the inner offering, it helps us to gain the realizations much more quickly. That's why it's a very important part of the offerings also. And that's why here it's called the 5 hooks and the 5 lamps also. Okay? But this is all symbology. It's not something, we are not offering the actual 5 flags. It's not like, okay, tomorrow we need to prepare the 5 meats and the 5 nectars in the altar in order to make the inner offering or something like that. It has nothing to do with that. Even though there are the inner offering pills that we put inside the Kapala, and these pills, they are said to have, in the ancient times, they would be made with the 5 nectars and the 5 meats. And then we have a pill then what they do basically. They have one original pill, then this pill is put on water, then it's melted on water. With this water they made more pills. To have the lineage of this substance somehow that we use. And then also when we have these pills, the most important thing is not only the substance, but nowadays, and also since long time already, when these pills are done, they are not anymore using the 5 meats and the 5 nectars. There is a very precise representation with different plants and minerals that are representing the 5 meats and the 5 nectars. So there is the union of these plants and these minerals, these herbs and these minerals that are made these pills. And then after, there is a very important meditation that is done in order to bless these pills. And the text says that the blessing ceremony is not completed until you have a clear sign, which means that or you need to have fire coming where the pills are, or at least smoke and, steam coming out of them. You know? So normally the pills that we use, they are all coming from the pills that were blessed by Panchen Losang Chogi Gyaltsen. Because it said that when he blessed these pills, he got fire coming out of it. So they had all these auspicious signs. So the pills that we still use today, that we have at home, I brought it from Tibet, is the pills that come from the lineage of the pills of Panchen Losang Chogi Gyaltsen. So it's coming from that pills also, okay? Anyhow, This is an important thing here now, is that verse 34 and verse 35, that we're going to go now, is actually something symbolic. We're not offering the actual 5 nectars. We're not offering the actual 5 meats. Okay? This is a symbology to represent the inner body and mind and the elements and so on that we're actually transforming into nectar and offering. Okay? It's important just to understand here that we are talking about a metaphor. We're talking about a symbol. We're not talking about actual literal offering. Okay? What is a symbol? What is a metaphor? Basically, it's something that doesn't have a form, that we need to give a form in order to help our mind to understand it. Okay? The next verse is talking about the secret offering. And the secret offering is also, as the inner offering, is symbolized by a symbol, by a metaphor. Okay? So we shouldn't take the verse of the offering literally. Okay? It's symbolizing something that goes beyond form, something that we don't have. It's an inner experience. It's not something that has an external form. So this is how it's being symbolized. So I will read first the verse, okay? It says, 이원라츠 벤진 주주신 되백 유zel라게 루트라마 신경하게 행게 번예서 제도 규메차게 ನಂ겨 불. We even offer voluptuous illusion-like concerts, a host of messenger dakinis, born from place, from mantra, and simultaneously born, having slender figures, aglow with the vibrancy of youth, and skilled in the 64 arts of love. So here, what are we offering actually? We are offering the sensation of great bliss, the new sensation, the new experience of great bliss and emptiness that comes through the union of male and female energy. So by the inner experience within the central channel of the union of male and female energy, there is the sensation of the new experience of great bliss and emptiness. So this is what we are offering. We are offering the union of male and female energy. So based on our own mundane way of seeing things and our own limitations, what is the symbol that is used to represent that? Is to offer a concert. Okay? So we have Guru Buddha. In the heart of Guru Buddha there is Buddha Shakyamuni. In the heart of Buddha Shakyamuni there is Buddha Vajradhara. Buddha Vajradhara is in union with Vajradhatushvari, his concert. So from our heart emanates a concert that absorbs in the heart of Guru Buddha in the concert of in Vajradhatushvari. Okay? So this is what we visualize basically. And as we do this visualization, what does it actually mean? It means that we are offering the union of male and female energy through which Guru Buddha can have a new sensation of great bliss and emptiness that is directly connected to the wisdom empowerment. When we are in the wisdom empowerment also, the wisdom empowerment is the one through which we have a new sensation of great bliss and emptiness in a deeper level of consciousness that arises through the union of male and female energy. Okay? So what we are offering here is not what we are reading literally. What we say literally, the symbol that we have here, is that we are offering this beautiful woman, this beautiful concert. That's what actually the text literally says. No, if we read the text that it says, we even offer voluptuous illusion-like concert. Illusion means it's so beautiful that it's like an illusion, something that you cannot believe in. A host of messenger dakinis, born from the place, born from mantra, and simultaneously born. These actually are the 4 types of woman. Normally, woman can be divided into 4 different types somehow. So, and then it says, with the vibrancy of youth and skilled in the 64 arts of love. Okay. If we want to go into many details on the explanation of this verse, we could go into explaining what are the 64 arts of love. I feel no need at all to do that, okay? If we want to go to see if anyone is interested in knowing what are the 64 arts of love, the most accessible and easy way is you get a book on Kama Sutra. And then inside of that is basically 8 multiplied by 8, which is there are 8 different actions of love, like kissing, hugging, and others. And each one of them is multiplied by 8. So these are called the 64 arts of love. And then, but basically here what we are offering is symbolized by this beautiful concert that we are offering, but actually it's something much beyond that. This is just a symbol. This is just something out of the great compassion. What the great masters and Buddha of the past have done is that they have found a way to make us to understand something. So they found this way of symbolizing this deep experience of great bliss that comes through the union of male and female energy, which is something that happens within our central channel. It's nothing external at all. So how is this being symbolized? Through the physical union. And how is being symbolized, this offering? Through the offering of the concert. That's actually what we are offering as a symbol. But the real offering that we are doing is the offering of the union of male and female energy, through which there is a new sensation of great bliss and emptiness in a very deep and profound way. Okay, it's quite clear, no? So, one very important thing that I was thinking if to say or not, but okay. It's always important, whenever we make this type of offerings and all these offerings that have come, always we should remember the union of great bliss and emptiness. The two things should go together, which means the great bliss is the observer, emptiness is the object of perception, which means through the sensation of great bliss, there is the perception and realization of the true nature of phenomenon. Okay? So this is actually what we imagine that Guru Buddha developed this, because bliss by itself, it's nothing special in it. Okay? Bliss by itself, everyone can develop bliss. Some people more, some people less. Nothing is special in bliss just by itself. Actually, bliss is a physical experience and mental experience also, physical, mental experience of a non-conceptual state in which the mind goes into a deeper level of experience, in which actually the winds do absorb into our central channel, and we have no more perception of our five senses. There is a deep state of pleasure that actually fills the whole body, fills the whole mind. At that very instant, there is no space for any type of conceptual understanding and perception. So we need to use that state of bliss to realize, which is a very deep experience, is a deep level of consciousness. We need to use that state of mind and that state of body to realize the lack of inherent existence. That's when we make the union of great bliss and emptiness. Bliss just by itself, it's danger. Why? Because we get attached to bliss. And when we experience bliss just as a final goal, not as a method, bliss is the method. Bliss is a method to realize emptiness, to eliminate our ignorance in the deeper level of consciousness. If we use the bliss as a method, then we can use it positively. Otherwise, we just get more and more attached to it, and then we just get more and more attached to samsara itself. Okay? So, it's always important to remember to put together new bliss together with emptiness. Okay? So, whatever we do is when we offer, we say, then Guru Buddha have a new experience of great bliss and emptiness. Emptiness should always go together. Okay, this is just one small bracket. So just one more thing to add about this. Lama Tsongkhapa stated very clearly in the Ringa Sadran, the 5 stages, clearing the 5 stages of completion, which is the commentary on the completion stage of Griya Samaja. And one point Lama Tsongkhapa stated very clear, saying that in order for anyone to use great bliss as a method to realize emptiness, the first condition that this person must have is not to be attached to bliss itself. In the moment that we are attached to the bliss, then it becomes a final goal and not anymore a mean to realize something else. And then based on that, we get lost within that bliss. And then it becomes just something that will tide us more and more to samsara. Okay? Yes? The offering you have Guru Buddha. In the heart of Guru Buddha there is Buddha Shakyamuni. In the heart of Buddha Shakyamuni there is Buddha Vajradhara. Buddha Vajradhara is in union with Vajradhatushvari. So we manifest in the visualization from our heart a beautiful dakini, a beautiful concert that absorbs into Vajradhatushvari. That is the concert of Buddha Vajradhara at the heart of Buddha Shakyamuni, at the heart of Guru Buddha. Okay? That's the visualization we do. And we imagine that Guru Buddha experience a new sensation of great bliss and emptiness. Okay? So this is basically it. I think not so difficult to understand, no? Non è così difficile da capire. Poi si può arrivare a tanti livelli di comprensione e di percezione, però non siamo al buio totale. No? Okay? So the next one is called the offering of emptiness or the offering of suchness. Ok? Un second only. In italiano questa offerta viene dato anche un nome tradotto certe volte, Te Konanyigi Chöpa, che la traduzione letteraria sarebbe l'offerta della talità. Talità, così come è. Che è strano come parola, no? Suchness. Viene tradotto in inglese, che viene tradotto in italiano come talità, che sembra più sanscrito che italiano, più che altro, no? Però, si offre la percezione dei fenomeni per quello che sono, così come sono. Te konagni in tibetano, te vuol dire questo, kona vuol dire unicamente, gni anche unicamente vuol dire specifico, quindi vuol dire offrire la realizzazione dei fenomeni per ciò che sono. In questo, quello che in poche parole, quindi il nome più corretto è Te Konanyigi Chöpa, che è l'offerta della talità, ossia l'offerta dei fenomeni per ciò che sono, della mente che realizza la natura dei fenomeni per ciò che effettivamente è. Ok? So the next offering, verse number 36, is called the offering of suchness. The offering of suchness means the offering of the mind, of the state of consciousness, the deep state of consciousness that realizes the phenomena for what they are. Okay? So here, the verse says, Drimdre linke dewa yesheche chokuranshin tonda dewa yerme lundru masam jolede tundam jancho semcho kyola bul. And in English, it will say, we offer you supreme ultimate bodhicitta, beyond words. Okay, it's looking at the time, sorry. We offer to you supreme ultimate bodhicitta, beyond words, thought and expression, spontaneous and invisible, spontaneous and indivisible, devoid a sphere of all things, free from mental fabrications of true existence, unobstructed great pristine awareness, simultaneous with bliss. So what we are offering here, how can we offer emptiness, the offering of emptiness? We are offering the experience of realizing emptiness. Basically, the best way of actually making such offering is reflecting on emptiness ourselves. So basically, we are offering our own realization of emptiness, and by that, Guru Buddha experiences a new sensation of great bliss and emptiness. From the visualization point of view, we focus on the visualization of the previous offering, and on the heart of Guru Buddha, there is Buddha Shakyamuni. On the heart of Buddha Shakyamuni, there is Buddha Vajradhara. As we offer the concert, they enter in union, and by that, Guru Buddha experiences a new sensation of great bliss and emptiness. In the previous offering, we concentrate on the part of bliss. In this offering, we concentrate on the part of emptiness. So imagine that Guru Buddha has a new sensation of great bliss and emptiness. But we offer that by reflecting and meditating ourselves, by generating the mind that realizes emptiness. So here, what do we mean by that, basically? the mind that realizes emptiness, the inner state of realization of emptiness, is a non-conceptual state, okay, that perceives the lack of inherent existence of phenomenon. We are not going to go now into the details about what is the lack of inherent existence and so on. That's too long to go now. That's not a moment to go on that. But basically, many of you have already listened many times about correct view of reality. And I believe many of you already have had experience at some point to understand something, to feel something. Nagarjuna explained that we have the seeds of realizing emptiness in the moment that when we listen about emptiness, or when we listen or we read something, and when we get in touch with the information talking about emptiness, we get tears in our eyes. And how do you call that? Goosebumps? So we get goosebumps and we get tears in our eyes in the moment that we listen to about emptiness. Okay? So many of you, I believe, have already had the experience of having some sort of inner experience of being touched when reflecting or when listening about the lack of inherent existence, about the interdependence of phenomenon. Okay? Making it very, very simple, maybe simplifying even too much, but just to try to make it more simple for some people. It's like if I ask you, the reality in which we live, is it an objective reality or subjective reality? It's subjective. How do we, without analyzing, how do we see reality? As being objective or as being subjective? Objective. So, even though we live in a subjective reality, how does it appear to us? As being objective. Are we aware of this? So what happens is that we are not aware of the subjectiveness of the subjective reality. Okay? We see the subjective reality as if it was objective. So emptiness is the lack of objectiveness of the subjective reality. Okay? It may look like a game of words, but it's not. Basically, when I ask you again, the reality in which we live, is it objective or subjective? It's subjective. Do we understand it as such normally, without analyzing? No. How does phenomena appear to us as being? Objective. Are they objective? No. Wow. When we are able just to understand this, something touches in our mind. It's like opening our eyes. And just this experience is already something we can offer. We don't need to have any very high realization of emptiness right away. Just to understand that phenomena actually are subjective, but they appear to us as being objective, and we believe in it. Just to understand that is already hitting in the face of ignorance. So it's already a good step. So, and from this we can have many different levels of understanding and realization of emptiness, which means the lack of inherent existence. So this experience is actually what we offer at this point. Okay? Our own experience we are offering. And we believe that as Guru Buddha receives it, it actually receives it by realizing the ultimate nature of phenomenon. And this experience is united with the experience of great bliss, with a non-conceptual deep state of consciousness, as the verses says. We offered you supreme ultimate bodhicitta, which means the mind, the deep state of consciousness that realizes the lack of inherent existence, which is beyond words. Thought and expression is a state of consciousness that is non-conceptual. We can explain as with thousands of words in the best manner as possible. We cannot experience it. Once we experience, we cannot express it really into words. We can try in many ways. Making a very simple example is like trying to tell a person how it is to have chocolate ice cream for a person that have never had chocolate or ice cream in his life. Can you explain? Can the person understand what is chocolate ice cream if he never ate some? We can put into many words. We can try to do thousands of examples. What's the only way for the person really to understand what's chocolate ice cream? To try it, to taste it. Similar to that, okay, much better than chocolate ice cream, emptiness, realizing the true nature of phenomena, is an experience that is way beyond words and expression. Buddha and all the great masters, out of their kindness, they try to put them into words, how we can get there and what it is. They try to describe it in many ways. This is even the first words that Buddha said after reaching enlightenment. He will try to describe this state, no? When he said, profound and peaceful, free of elaborations and non-composed. Such a nectar I have realized, to whoever I explain will not be able to understand, so I stay by myself meditating in the forest. Which is profound, which is the deepest nature of reality, is peaceful because it's free of any conflict and mental defilements, is free of elaborations. There is no big emptiness, small emptiness, deep emptiness, shallow emptiness, or anything like that. There is free of elaborations, and is not free elaboration and non-composed, which means it's a permanent phenomena. There is not the cause of emptiness, the result of emptiness, the condition of emptiness. Emptiness is emptiness, and it's free. It's a permanent phenomenon, okay? And it's a nectar because it heals all mental defilements and it brings great bliss. So, such a nectar Buddha have realized. So this experience Buddha tried to put into words, but still, by listening to the words, we cannot have the inner experience. We need to go through a whole process to be able to develop such an inner experience. That's why it's beyond words, thought, and expression. It's spontaneous and is indivisible. Here the word is not invisible. There is a wrong. At least in the version I have of the text, there is a mistake. It's written spontaneous and invisible. No, it's not invisible. It's indivisible. Non-dual. The word in Tibetan here is yerme. Okay, it's indivisible. It's indivisible in the sense that it's an experience, a non-dual experience, where there is the perception of observer and object of perception as two separate things. It's whole as one. Okay. The void sphere of all things, free from mental fabrications of true existence, is a state of mind which is free from the appearance of inherent existence and the grasping at inherent existence. Unobstructed, great, pristine awareness, simultaneous with bliss. Is a state of mind with a pure awareness that at the same time it's indivisible from the state of bliss that realizes such emptiness. Okay? So this is actually what we are offering. This inner deep experience that what we offer to Guru Buddha. Okay? We can go, the beautiful thing about all these offerings is that the more we have experience in the Dharma, the more we have understanding, the more tasteful they become. The meaning of these offerings. That's why you can see great practitioners reciting these verses very slowly, and in their faces you see this great joy. No? Because the more you go on the path, the more you find taste in it, the more you understand the true meaning. Okay? So now, just to conclude, we have the last part of the offerings, which is offering offering medicine and offering our services to Guru Buddha. The verse says, Nyomoshigatsashi ne jumpe sambo me gichira nazodan kyuni gichi darren bulana namka jisi bangsu suntu sol. We offer sundry types of potent medicines to cure the plagues of the 400 afflictions. And in reverence, we offer ourselves as servants to please you. Please keep us in your service as long as the heavens endure. As long as the space is there, as long as the sky exists, please keep us as your servant. What does this mean? Here, we are offering medicine. The medicine that we offer is as a positive interdependence, as a cause for us to heal ourselves from our physical and mental sicknesses. Okay? Here we talk about the 400 sicknesses, which is 100 sickness coming from disturbance of wind, 100 sickness coming from the disturbance of phlegm, 100 from bile, and 100 from the three together. So these are the 400 types of sicknesses, which in essence are all coming from ignorance, attraction, and aversion. So basically, this medicine, it means that it will to cure both our body and our mind in a deeper level. So we offer the medicine as a positive interdependence. The most important part of this verse actually is offering our services, where we offer ourselves to serve Guru Buddha, which means we put ourselves into the, a disposizione, we put ourselves to the service of Guru Buddha in whatever we may be able to do. I offer my body, I offer my speech, I offer my mind. Whatever I can do, I will do. But the point here is, who is Guru Buddha in the service of? He's working for who? For all sentient beings. So finally, it's like, if I put myself on the service of Guru Buddha, and he's on the service of all sentient beings, finally, who I am on the service of? Sentient beings. No? If we look to a very practical example that we have in front of us, for example, Rinpoche. Okay? Really, who is Rinpoche in the service of? Sentient beings. You know, some time ago I was thinking about this, and I was just getting to the very simple and objective point. Rinpoche is constantly listening to our problems. Do we ever listen to Rinpoche's difficulties? Are we ever there to help him on some problem that he has? Or he's constantly there trying to help us to solve our problems? So clear. It's so clear that Rinpoche is he put himself on the service to help us with his body, with his mind, with his speech, with anything he may have materially. He's constantly putting himself in the service of others. So in the moment that I, out of gratitude, I put myself in the service of Rinpoche, who I am in the service of really? Of sentient beings. But sometimes we see people saying, oh, when I need to serve my Guru, I am ready to stand up and do anything. But if I need to serve the people that he's serving, no. There is quite an incoherence there. In the moment that we put ourselves in the service of our Guru, automatically we should be in the service of those that he's in the service of. Which means we put ourselves automatically in the service of sentient beings at the same time. That's why when we offer our service, this is a way in which we're actually reestablishing our own commitment to reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. The commitment to work for the benefit of others, which is the Bodhisattva vows. In the moment that we offer our service, we are also making more strong our commitment to keep a pure bond with our Guru, a pure relation with our Guru, to rely correctly upon the Guru. And this is the first of the tantric vows, that we should never ever give up or make any interference in the relation we have with our Guru. This is the first vow. So in the moment that I offer my service, I am at the same time creating the causes and keeping purely these two samayas, which is the Bodhisattva vows and the tantric vows. The Bodhisattva vows are 18 main vows and 46 minor vows. From all these commitments of the Bodhisattva, there is only one commitment that if we break, we lose the Bodhisattva vows, which is the commitment to work and to dedicate our body, speech, and mind for the benefit of all sentient beings. It's the commitment to reach enlightenment for the benefit of others. That's the commitment. The only one that if we break, we lose bodhicitta. So when we offer ourselves in the services of our Guru, and consequently we offer ourselves for the service of all sentient beings, we are keeping our commitments. And the same thing happens also for the tantric vows, which are the 19 vows of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, such as making inner, outer, and secret offerings and emptiness offerings, such as practicing the 4 generosities, never being separated from method and wisdom, always remembering emptiness. They are more difficult to keep these vows. But still, the main one is to keep purely the relationship with our Guru. So, in the moment that we offer ourselves to Guru Buddha, our service, it's also establishing a very strong basis to keep purely our samayas. Okay? So, at this moment of the practice, if we go into more details, is the moment in which we should reestablish our bodhisattva vows and our tantric vows. And also in the long explanation of the Guru Puja, at this point should be explained all the bodhisattva vows and all the tantric vows. We're not going to do that right now. But this is the moment in which we can go through it and understand, what are the 18 minors and the 60 and the 50 and the 46 minor, the 18 majors and the 46 minor bodhisattva vows, what are the 19 tantric vows, and so on. Okay? This is the point of the practice where we should do this. So the important thing here is that when we offer our service, which is something that out of the kindness that we have, that Guru Buddha have to us, is the minimum that we can offer. After that, Guru Buddha is showing to me the path to enlightenment, is giving me everything. What should I give to him? At least put myself on his services. Whatever I can do, my body, my speech, my mind, anything is on the service of my Guru. Which means, finally, it's on the service of whom? Of sentient beings. Okay? And it's similar to the fact, for example, here in the center. How many people can I directly benefit only by myself? Very few people. Even me. I can be of benefit for more people only thanks to the center. And to other structures that allow me to be in contact with many people. And for all of us, only by ourselves, how many people can we benefit? Very few. Our range of action is very small. In the moment that, and what's the range of action, for example, of the center? It's hundreds of times bigger than my own personal range of action. So in the moment that I serve the center, actually I am serving those that are the center is benefiting. So my range of action multiplies, it gets much larger, so I can bring much more benefit. That's why it's the benefit of karma yoga. That's why it's the benefit of our own dedication. But very few people understand this nowadays, anyhow. When we really put ourselves in the service, without wanting anything back, because it's out of gratitude, we are the one receiving the greater benefit finally. I really believe in this for myself. So, as we offer ourselves to Guru Buddha, to the Dharma, to the Sangha, we will receive finally the greatest benefit. And by this, we keep also purely our commitments. We keep purely our samayas. Okay? So this is, as in this part of the Guru Puja, before we go to the next part, which is the part of purifying our negativities and rejoicing and so on, here we reestablish our commitments to reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, our commitments with the Vajrayana path, and so on. Okay? And we offer ourselves the service as in the service of Guru Buddha and consequently in the service of all sentient beings. Okay. So by this we conclude the part of the offerings. So as we have seen, we have the outer offerings, inner offerings, secret offerings, offerings of emptiness, suchness offerings, and the offerings of medicine and service. Okay? And as we have seen also, they are connected to the outer offering was divided into 5 parts. The offering of water, the offering of nirche, which means like nearby actions, which means like of pleasures, like such as flowers and incense and so on. The offerings of the 5 senses, offerings of the mandala, and the offering of realization. We have gone through these 5 offerings, and these 5 offerings are directly connected to the vase empowerment. Then we went through the inner offering, which is connected to the secret empowerment, the secret offering that is connected to the wisdom empowerment, the emptiness, the suchness offerings that is connected to the word empowerment, and the offering of service that is connected to maintaining purely our commitments. Okay? I think it's quite clear. No? So with this we conclude the part of offerings, and then tomorrow we'll go through the next. Jetsu Lama Kotse Raptenchi Namkar Tinle Chochur Gepadang Losan Tempe Drume Sasumgi Drowe Munse Tato Negyurchi Jetsu Lame Kotse Raptenchi Namkar Tinle Chochur Gepadang Losan Tempe Drume Sasumgi Drowe Munse Tato Negyurchi Nimo Dele Tsendele Nime Kuyan Delekshi Ninsen Takto Delekpe Koncho Sumke Jingil Koncho Sumge Trashisho. So just one last thing. When we talk about making these 5 different types of offerings, it's not something that we should only do as we recite the Guru Puja. The Guru Puja helps us to remember about them and to generate us the mind that do these 5 offerings, to regenerate this state of consciousness. But we should do it in our daily life, every day. When we see something beautiful, we offer. When we feel joy, we offer. When we have the opportunity, we put ourselves in the service. That's the way how we do. Okay? Even when we help a person, we make this as an offering to Guru Buddha. Okay? At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the 3 jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness.